along with me.
You're welcome.
I needed to declare those songs tonight. That was my song selection, was a declaration. So anyways, thanks for coming on this journey. So yay, now the wonderful Benders get to carry us further into this journey. Thanks, Greg and Ange. Oh no, the Baileys! Yay!
Wait. Why is Greg coming up then? You said Greg, and he's like, I'm here.
I was invited up.
I know.
Yeah!
There we go.
He follows directions real good. Hey, Greg, do you want to introduce the new people coming up?
They need whiteboard people.
My microphone running.
No, touching on whiteboard.
Jerrod's got his own whiteboard.
Jerrod, are you going to go outside the black marker?
Hey, we are privileged tonight to have the Baileys with us. They're here most every week, and we are thrilled that they're going to be giving this message. They are truly a couple, a family of God, and I am proud that I know them, and proud that I get to be a little bit a part of their lives, which is a lot of fun. So, but you know, my wife was not invited up here, but she came up here anyway.
I did.
So I'm going to hand the phone to her. Or whatever this device is.
The microphone. It's a phone. You're handing me the microphone? I can't believe it. Whoa, this just happened. I'm having a moment right here. Yeah, come on up. I just came up because you were up here, and I just thought I'd keep you company while you invited the Baileys. I love you guys. I'm super excited. Yay. You're doing the handheld? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
We've never. Is this thing working? Is this on? Is this thing on?
Is this thing working? Is this thing
No, they'll turn it on.
Oh, they'll get you going.
For me.
Thanks.
Hey, Dano. Mic check. Wireless. Check one.
Check, baby, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, baby, 1, 2, 3. Check,
No,
baby,
still
check,
no mic.
baby, 1, 2. Oh. Okay. Who do I release them to? Do we want?
I hadn't thought of one. Do you want to come up with one on the fly? Oh, how about just what's something you'd like to do every day? I don't know. Maybe that's a little too deep.
So how many of the kids had fall break this week? Ooh. I'd like to hear from you guys one highlight of your fall break, one fun thing you got to do. Who wants to start? One fun thing. Oh, I got a hand up. Thanks, Abraham.
I got to stay home from school. I'm in prison. I don't get to learn.
No learning. Something fun you did? Okay, you got something?
I don't have to go to school.
Yay! Okay, Jocelyn?
I was on fall break too, so I feel like I could join in. I got to go to the Grand Canyon in Sedona, and it was really super fun.
Oh my gosh, I'm jealous. I have not been to the Grand Canyon since I was like... You had fall break?
I did have fall break. I had fall break, and I went on a camping trip with my son up to Mingus Mountain, where you could look down on Sedona and this huge Verde Valley, and you could see all the Sedona red rocks. And we were camped right on the cliff edge. It was phenomenal.
Get this. They sent me pictures of Abraham going, whoa, right on the cliff edge. And I was going to throw up right just looking at the picture. Oh.
Yeah. So my son was just happy not to be in prison. I don't know what. I was just happy to get out with my son. That was a lot of fun.
Did you guys do anything over fall break?
I got to be at a certain someone's house. Yeah, I wonder who.
You got to...
Where did you go? To McDonald's.
That's such a cute laugh. That's it?
Oh.
What did you get to do?
Go to Chili's. No, Chipotle is my life.
Your life? Did you Wait. Okay, here we go.
What did I do?
Okay, we're still going on fall break stories. Ava, did you do anything fun? Okay, San Diego, not fun. I will
Be the guy on the wired mic.
keep that in mind.
Okay,
Perfect.
testing. Okay, all right. I'll be on this
Got
mic.
it. Oh, okay. Anything else fun happen? Did you watch your mom do anything fun?
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you one of these.
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. Oh, can you tell us about that? Thank you.
Sure. I went to the pumpkin patch, and then we found out this morning that my pumpkin was infested with ants. All over our kitchen.
In the kitchen.
It's fine. It's fine.
Darby, anything to add about fall break?
My fall break ended last week.
That's a really great fall break thing.
I don't know what else.
2-day fall break or something.
It was only 2 days. So
That's not much of a break.
that was fun.
It's like a weekend.
Something. Okay, anything before we release? Anybody else want to tell a story before we release you? Great. Okay. Then you guys can go and you're going to follow.
All right, children.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, I didn't see you. Alex, it's your turn. You get to go. Have fun.
Yes.
Where's your shoes, babe? Thank you. Miss Jasandra for the win. Okay.
So, you know, we lead the prophetic practice here, and we wanted to start doing, you know, just some more conversation and discussion around that. Maybe some learning, things like that. So this is a conversation that Lindsay and I started a couple months ago in Colorado, which is where God lives. I don't know if you know that.
Only.
He only lives here like 6 months out of the year. He's full-time up there. And yes, he can be in more than one place at once. Yeah. And so, we just kind of want to unpack some things tonight, show some clips, because that's how my wife thinks, is in terms of movie clips. But one of the things that came up for us is, you know, kind of starts with, why do we practice the prophetic? Why even take that chance? Many of us in this room are very still uncomfortable. Some of us in this room have never even tried it before. That's totally fine, because it's super uncomfortable. I remember the first time I tried the prophetic. Who has negative stories about the prophetic? Anyone? Yeah? Like what, for example? I mean, not long stories, but like, I saw only white.
On this,
No,
right?
I've had people give me words that I was like, I hope that's not true, because that's super horrible word, and I'm so embarrassed that you would think that that's like my future. So, and I felt ashamed that I felt that way, but also like just, yeah, it's only happened once or twice, but then I had to go talk to the Lord about it.
Perfect example. And you're going to have to be my mic runner, because I'm wired.
Okay. I have a story.
Yeah.
I went up to a bartender and I said, I have a word that you have a bad back and I'd like to pray over you. And he said, no, I don't. And I said, is it your knees? And he said, no, it's not. And I said, do you have a family member that needs prayer? And he goes, no. And I said, can I just bless you? And he's like, sure. Very awkward. It felt very risky. It wasn't what I heard, but it was what it was. And I blessed him and walked away as fast as I could. He thought I was trying to pick up on him? Oh, yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Can't hear me, can you?
It's still not working.
Testing. What? My other right? Is it? Can you hear that? Yes. Okay, I'm not going to move from this exact position.
Great.
I'll grab the wired mic if this ends up being a problem. Okay, so why go through it? Why do that? Why do we do it? Why do we go through it?
When someone's on, it really touches.
When someone's on, it really touches that person's heart and it really blesses them. So part of why we do it is because of them. Why else? Who cares about the prophetic? What's happening when we're practicing the prophetic? Yeah.
Oh, you stay. I go.
Thanks.
So 2 things really bless me when I practice. One is that sometimes I hear things for other people that I have a hard time hearing for myself. And when I hear it, I don't just hear it, I feel it. I feel God's heart for that person. And it almost like heals me about that issue that maybe I'm having a hard time hearing God for myself. So that's a huge blessing for me when I practice with other people, is that God speaks to me about issues in my own life that he wants to just affirm and encourage me in. The other one is that I find that if I'm willing to hear for anyone at any point in time, I will always hear something, and it is typically some level of accuracy. And I've discovered that if I can hear super easily for other people, I can hear super easily for myself. But there's a lot of times in my life where I feel like I can't hear. So that challenges me to just go, what is it here that's standing in the way of my perception of hearing him more accurately? So if that makes any sense, hearing for other people just utterly convinces me that I can hear him all the time for me all the time. It's just about maybe making the investment and changing my mind, opening up my mind to new ideas, and then I hear from him. So that's a huge also side blessing.
What's that analogy where everybody's sitting at a dinner table but they have really, really long spoons? So they can't feed themselves because the spoons are too long, so the only way they can eat is feeding the people across from them? Right, yeah, exactly. It's a little bit like that. We can't feed ourselves sometimes, but we can feed the person we're looking at. So sometimes about us,
I was just going to say, there's nothing like God's voice. Like it's sweeter than honey. It's like, it's an experience. Like that's the way to experience God, to make the God of the universe tangible. The most tangible way that we can is when you know that God of the universe is talking to you. It changes everything. It's more than like one word from God is better than like 10 counseling sessions. It literally just changes. It's the thing that changes.
Okay, so you're getting close to, in fact, you hit something that I'm getting at. You know, the internet was crazy amazing. We're still figuring out why it was crazy amazing. But the main reason it was amazing when it was invented is it gave any human access to all the information in the world. That's like omnipotence. That's really powerful. All the information, but also all the opinions and all these other things. And so we use it and we abuse it, and it's really dramatically changed our life. But when we try to access this conversation with God, we're accessing something that's like that but bigger. We're accessing the power of the universe anytime we want to, infinite wisdom, and then we're receiving that and we're using that in our lives. So it's not about us. At the end of the day, it's not about the other person. It's about our relationship with this God of the universe that really gives us everything.
Can I read my? I think Sean Boltz has one of the best definitions of prophecy, and the goal of it. He says, the goal of prophecy is to connect people to the empowering nature of God, so they can become like him and display his marvelous nature on all the earth. And for me, I have a lot of people who ask for my counsel. I have a lot of people that say, can we go to coffee and talk about something? And I can give my opinion, but I don't have an empowering nature. When the Lord gives a word to somebody, there's actual power behind it. There's an actual transforming thing that I don't see, I don't know what's going on, but people feel it. And it's not because of anything brilliant I've done or said. It's that there's something that happens there that's very different than when I just give an opinion or tell you what I think about a situation. And so often I will start to talk about my very wise opinion, and the Lord's like, tell me more about how wise you are here. And I'm like, oh, right, let's pray for a second. Because it is so different.
Is this mic still on? Okay, great. So one of the things that's important about this sort of access to this God of the universe is the fundamental questions that it lets us ask him. And we end up, whether we ask him or we ask other people or we ask ourselves or we ask our parents, we're all trying to ask these core questions. I had been a Christian for less than half of my life. And I can say the questions I've asked myself in the latter half of my life have been infinitely more interesting than the ones I asked before then. But we do ask really interesting questions. And whether you're Christian or not, you're going to ask these questions. So what kinds of questions do we ask? What are some core questions that we ask of God or whoever else if we're not asking him? Any ideas? Mike Runner.
Sorry.
I ask, what the heck is going on? You just, what's going on would work.
Four Non Blondes song.
What's going on? What's going on?
That's a G. Sorry, my writing's not great. What other core questions do we ask of God? And maybe what questions do we ask about ourselves that we're hoping he answers to?
There you go. Why?
Why?
Why? I'm working on it.
Do I matter?
Ooh, those are big.
I like that. What else? What do we ask God about ourselves? Who am I? Why do we ask that of God?
And for me, on the who am I, it's...
am I trying this mic?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, where's my significance? That's usually one that I'm pairing with who am I.
Am I significant?
Yeah, that's kind of, for me, goes with the identity and who am I, but also, am I lovable? And what do people think of me?
Am I lovable?
It's just part of that.
You've been told, just to get personal, you've heard the opposite of this before.
Oh, from my dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad.
You've had fights where I've communicated something like this to you.
Right.
Wounds.
Right.
What else?
This is pretty much the same as the first two, but to be more specific, why do bad things happen to good people?
Yep.
Okay. Why do bad things happen to good people? What's the core question we're asking God about ourselves when we ask Him?
Do you have it? Oh, sorry. That's a follow-up question if you...
Well, there's the thought, God, why did you make this happen? Or allow it to happen, if you will.
Right.
Yeah. So how about, am I safe? Are you for me? Are you really good? Am I protected? These are things we ask ourselves when we're 5, or 11, or roots to it. It's the same things we ask ourselves when we're 45. Am I safe?
I think we should cancel the wireless.
Yeah, this wireless, sorry guys, it's just not working out for us.
Hot mic, hot mic.
How about,
Yeah.
am I capable? Am I capable? Do I have what it takes? Am I free? Am I powerful? Oh, great. That these really foundational questions, really foundational, am I loved? Am I powerful? Am I free? What else? Yeah, that's pretty good. Does my presence matter? Am I significant? We covered a lot of these. So we ask these questions of the universe in general. Whether we're a Christian or not, we all ask these questions. And we end up trying to answer them in different ways. I think you had something you wanted to say at this point. We use patterns to answer these questions or to get around asking these questions, because sometimes we're afraid of the answer. Sometimes, especially for the ones that really hit core to us, we've gotten a different answer than yes, you're safe, or yes, you're powerful. We've gotten no, you're not safe, no, you're not powerful, no, you can't be trusted. And so we either walk through life with different answers, negative answers, or we walk through life building up patterns to avoid even asking the question in the first place.
So one of the things that we do as children is we have all these facts in our life. Our parents are these people, this is what happened, they're all true. But what we do is we create a narrative around those facts. And as children, our narrative is not always correct. And our narrative quickly becomes what we call our personality, or the way that we deal with life. So different people write different narratives around these questions. To have my dad tell me that I was unlovable, that became a narrative. I had to write somehow something that made that make sense in my life. That message was coming in. And it took years to even remember that moment and go, oh wait, I am lovable. He was mad about something else and he misspoke. And I don't think he thought that of me. But as a kid receiving that, like, I wrote myself a whole story around that I was unlovable and I wasn't enough and stuff like that. And so a lot of times we write these narratives unconsciously, like we're not aware of them. And I feel like what the Lord wants to do is make us more aware, to wake up, to be conscious of these narratives that are running, because we still have these questions years later. We're still asking the same questions we asked as kids. And now we have more resources and more data and more information, and we have access to Him answering these questions. So as kids, we're always looking at other people's reflection of us. We're looking at their mirrors, their interpretation. And when we stop asking these questions in a distorted lens, when we go straight to the Lord, we're going to get awesome answers that are clear and are true and we can trust.
What about that story that you're driving to that podcast the other day?
Oh.
Before then, we talked about a narrative you told yourself, or you've been believing for the last, I don't know, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I was on my way to Enneagram podcasts, and the Lord reminded me of one of the narratives.
No, you got to back up, because we were talking that morning, and you were talking about growing up and being on stage and acting, and how your family didn't care.
Oh, right. Yeah, he remembers the story better than me.
This is a great story.
Yeah. I don't know how this happened, but for some reason I did theater, and I didn't feel like my family embraced the fact that I wanted to do theater or wanted to be an actress. And so I created a narrative that they rejected me and didn't come to shows and didn't want to see my work. And as I left, I called Jerrod and I went, everything I just told you wasn't true. The Lord just opened my brain, and I had all of these memories of my entire family cheering for me and handing me flowers and all of these things.
And the memories where you would not even tell them about shows because you didn't want them to go, or you were embarrassed or thought they didn't care.
Yeah, I stopped inviting them.
So you didn't even tell them about it, and then told yourself afterwards they didn't care, and they didn't come to your show. So she's literally living out the narrative and then reinforcing the narrative with the decision she's making, right?
Because I didn't invite them, so then they weren't there. So then I was like, see, they don't care. All of this is very subconscious going on, and the Lord woke me up to these memories of them supporting me and saying, good job. And I went, I called him, I said, I'm sorry, everything I just told you this morning is a lie. And he's like, what? But I didn't realize it, because we do develop, based on certain wounds or certain moments, as kids, we develop these narratives that take us into our adulthood. So it's time that we wake up to what is actually going on under the surface that sometimes we're not even aware that's running.
So part of what we want to do is we want to kind of wake up to the habits or the narratives that we tell ourselves. Because once you're aware of it, and God can actually make you aware of it. You can say, hey, God, is this like a habit, or is this like a thought pattern I've got or something? Can you help me understand what it is? And very often he will download a bunch of vision and revelation around that area. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes we're working through it, right? Sometimes we're working through it every day. So what we wanted to try to do is a little bit of a exercise to just kind of expose, what are some of the thought patterns we have, or where do we take those questions on the backside, where do we take those to other things other than God? So if I was going to boil down what we had on the backside into categories, we have, am I lovable? Am I powerful? I think I heard, am I protected? Am I doing the right thing? What should I do next? I think if we were going to categorize everything, it'd mostly get into there. Maybe am I don't know, free as part of powerful? Am I seen? Am I valued? Over here. And I thought it was an interesting exercise. We were talking through this. I was thinking about my phone and how we are all on our phones, except for Adrian, who's not here. He doesn't have a real phone. All the rest of us have these things. And I was thinking, what do I do during the day that's trying to resolve these questions for myself that doesn't necessarily have to do with God? And I was thinking through my phone. I even opened up my most recent apps, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. One thing I have on my phone is my bank account balance on my home screen, where I see it multiple times a day. Like, what does that tell me? And I see it. I look at it. I'm like, okay, we're good. Oh, crap, today we're not good. And I go into fear mode. What question am I resolving for myself when I look at my bank balance? Am I protected? What else am I doing? Am I powerful? Do I have control over my life, or is it spinning out of control? If you guys know me, you know I'm an Enneagram 5, and I'm all about the bank balance. I'm all about the time, security, right? But what else? Yeah, am I making the right decisions? What should I do next? What's the next best thing to do to keep that balance from going to zero? I am not involving God in this so far, right? This is just like my everyday, this is where I operate. What else do I do on my phone? What else do you guys do on your phone? Anyone want to volunteer? Zillow. Yeah, right? Okay, Zillow. Who checks the news on their phone?
Only
some people check
news.
the news. Some crazy people like that guy and this guy. Why do we check the news? What on earth is that going to help me reading about some plane that went down in Zimbabwe? I would have never known about that 50 years ago. Now I get to know every single plane that goes down. What is that doing for me? It makes me what? It does, right? No, but I think it doesn't. I think it makes me more powerful because knowledge is power, right? And so I go to my news so I can make sure that I'm powerful, maybe that I'm protected. Hey, I want to make sure I don't get on those kinds of planes that go down in Zimbabwe. So I'm not going to fly Southwest. What else do I do?
I don't think it plays.
Are you familiar with the term schadenfreude?
Schadenfreude, yeah. Wishing ill upon someone, I think.
Every disaster you see or read about, someone shot Zimbabwe.
Right.
Occasion to praise the Lord because it wasn't you.
Yeah. How about, I love that. So
I never thought about
I'm
that.
just really happy it's somebody else. What about social media? Lindsay, I'm going to take away all of your social media. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I'm gonna die. I get connection from social media. I get a false sense of connection, which makes me feel safe. That's
So,
my safety.
Am I protected?
Well, that's the push-pull I'm always having. I'm trying to get off, and then I can't because then I feel unsafe. And I'm learning about that's how my survival instinct is to know how everybody's doing, what everybody's doing, but then...
I will tell you this, I'll out my wife because many of you share this. She also compares to what other people are doing to ask, am I doing the right thing? Am I being a good enough mom? Am I doing the right parties? Am I doing the right vacations? What are the others doing that are in my social circle? Right? So I'm, instead of going to God saying, what should I do for my children? I'm kind of assessing across social media, my social network, am I doing the right thing? Would you say that's accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially around the holidays. And I go, oh, look at that tradition that we don't have. And why isn't that our tradition? And
Yeah.
I go in a spin circle. And then I also have a very negative relationship with it too. And that it's not authentic to me. So then I get caught up in this whole, what is true, what is real. It is so dark. It's
There's
so
just like
hard for
no
me to
good
navigate.
stuff. Okay, guys, what about sports scores? What about watching the game on Sunday? What are we trying to resolve? And I'm stretching here because I'm not the guy I'm not a sports guy, but most of my friends are. What could men be trying to solve or resolve through sports?
Vicarious power. Have you ever watched somebody in the stands who they give each other a high five when their team scores. What the heck did they do? A high five. But we feel that power of I scored.
Yeah. There's also an element of, I want to be knowledgeable about this. I get reinforcement from my peers.
Yeah,
I have
the
camaraderie
collective.
by virtue of doing this. And so I feel a level of protection around that, a level of power. Where else do we spend our time on our phones? See if I missed any big ones. Texting. Who has that Pavlovian, is it Pavlov? Pavlov's dogs? Response, ding, boom. No matter what I'm doing, I'm looking at the text. Ding, boom. Like, it's like, could I ever put this down?
I have the opposite response.
I do too.
And I will ignore it until like 12 hours later.
I
totally forgotten, and then Angela's like, did you see my text? I'm like, no.
I actually treat ignoring text like a source of power. No, seriously. If I ignore the text and don't respond in real time, I feel like I have control. Isn't that weird? Now you know. Just keep texting me going, Jerrod, you have no control. You have no control. Just answer my text. Smart. I know. It makes me unlovable, but I'm willing to sacrifice it for power. No. No, but we...
Like Slack, it's asynchronous communication. It's not a phone call.
Right. You should treat it like asynchronous communication, but we don't. We treat it like real time because there's a fear, there's a question that we're asking, and it's, maybe this is important. Maybe this is so important it can't wait. Every single text I get could fall into that category. But, we do treat texting like it's going to help us somehow, like it's going to protect us.
It's harder if you're codependent, I will say. If you're not codependent, you probably have a little bit more control. But if you